The cryptocurrency boom. Where will you be when it happens? I'm asking you that because if you're like me, you saw the internet boom happening. You were there before it. You saw it starting to happen. I mean, I know some of you are probably so young you don't remember, but you can probably imagine, right? Well, maybe you can't. If you're so young that you weren't there, you probably can't imagine how we could miss it. For those of you who were there, you know exactly how you miss these things. They don't come around very often. So I really want you to start thinking about this, thinking about things that you already know. If you're short on time, I encourage you to opt in to get the presentation that I'm going to be going over right now by email because I am going to go over a lot. I'm going to go through really big stuff really quickly. So you can get that if you need to walk away at any time during the presentation. You're also going to get my lead generation and crypto building system, literally be able to test that out for free to generate leads and cryptocurrency, because there's lots of ways to generate cryptocurrency. I'm going to talk about that today as well. If you have to go, if you're short on time, anytime during this presentation, opt in so you can get that, so you don't miss that. Okay, so this presentation is going to remind you what you already know. And I just kind of referenced why that's so important. So many of us missed so many opportunities in the past, like the internet boom, because we were scared, we were hesitant, we're going to talk about that. But you need to get in touch with what you already know, because you probably knew then that there was a huge opportunity passing you by. I'm going to go over some things that you may not know yet that are in the cryptocurrency world of resources, opportunities. I'm going to go over all that. We're going to address regulatory issues and your responsibility if you're going to move forward with tapping into our free system. I'm going to emphasize why I'm not here to convince you of anything. That's so important. I'm going to discuss a system for generating cryptocurrency commissions on autopilot. So for those of you who've already been dabbling with that or doing that, this is going to help you immensely, because that's what I am really strong at. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about right now, just understand that the entire world of cryptocurrency works much like the internet and referral marketing, like Amazon. The way most stuff's getting sold to you online, you don't know. Somebody's getting a commission for it. Well, that works the same way in cryptocurrency. Very legitimate organizations, just like in the internet world, it's working in the background, paying people a lot of cryptocurrency. I'm going to talk about a system that I'm going to hand to you to test out to see how that works before you have to pay anything or do anything. And in fact, I'm not charging anything for this system at all right now. I just know that as we get busier and busier and busier facilitating the growing team using this free system, the day may come where I may need to charge for it. Right now, it's literally not being charged for anybody, and people have been using it for many months. I keep evolving it, adapting it. We got a team supporting it. So I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to also show you how you can test the system for free. Exactly how do you do it? How do you tap into it? It's actually quite easy, but you're going to learn how before we're done today. So, okay, so here's some things that you may know, you may already know. Bitcoin is booming, right? Cryptocurrency is booming, which are basically spin-offs of Bitcoin in many ways, or spin-offs of the blockchain technology. We'll talk more about that. But a lot of you already know that. There are still tremendous opportunities. We need to talk about what you may already know, like Bitcoin is booming, because just like with the internet boom, many of us knew that it was booming, knew that there were huge opportunities, right? But we didn't plug in and tap in because it's so easy to get distracted by the fear and the scarcity mindset and the news media and the confusion that's thrown at us. So you need to get in touch with what you already know so that you can zoom in on that, tune in, and then take advantage this time. So, like, what are some indications that Bitcoin is booming? You see, like, these are different types of Bitcoin ATMs. You see it getting integrated into our life right before our eyes, just like the internet was. By the way, going back to the internet boom real quick, just to really drill that home, remember how it was being debated and people on the news media were constantly saying that these were experts at the time, didn't believe that the internet was anything more than a fad, and they didn't believe that they would ever be profitable. Do you remember that? For those of you that are too young to remember, that was like the common message during the boom. that the internet would never be profitable. And now you have Amazon buying out Whole Foods. You've got giant retailers that had dominated for decades that are now out of business because of the internet. And again, when you look back, for those of you who were old enough to look back and remember that time, it was kind of obvious. It was kind of obvious. And what I'm showing you now are Bitcoin ATM machines popping up all over the world, the United States, Canada, every continent. Here's a site. You can go to coinatmradar.com, coinatmradar.com, and get a Bitcoin ATM map and see how many are in your area. They're everywhere. Go there and check it out sometime. And what's funny is I took this screenshot and it was at 2,265 Bitcoin ATMs. And a few minutes later, I guess it was like a half a day later, I was working on the slides. I hit refresh and it had grown by a huge number. I mean, a large number. So it's just constantly being updated. That's where people can turn their cash into Bitcoin or use their debit card or prepaid card and turn it into Bitcoin. Like, it is integrating into our lives right before our eyes. A lot of people say, well, you can't spend Bitcoin. Again, it's integrated. There were days where we couldn't use the internet either, and then there were days where we could. There were days where you couldn't order anything online, and then there were days where you could. Then there were days that you could order things online, but the businesses weren't profitable yet. And now there are days where companies like Amazon are buying out companies like Whole Foods. That's how it happens. Like, yeah, of course, there's a period before it all becomes so ridiculously obvious. That's where the opportunities are. There's a time where people can't spend Bitcoin easily, and then there's going to be a time where they can. It's just the way it works. And we can debate all day long if Bitcoin is going to be the one that stands the test of time or if it's going to be Litecoin. It's kind of irrelevant. Right now, they're leading the market. Okay, it's really important to understand that there was a time where Yahoo was leading the internet search engine market. Then Google came along later. But those that were investing in Yahoo made a ton of money, and also were able to be the first to see the next opportunities that sprouted out. You know, Elon Musk made his big money from the internet boom. Like, he made it by being a participant with PayPal. And now that's spun off into all kinds of things that he's been able to do. You're not going to see the opportunities unless you're in the game. So yeah, maybe it won't be Bitcoin in the end, just like it's not Yahoo that's dominating. But the people that were in during that time that had made a lot of money with Yahoo had the opportunities that spun out of everything else that came out of the internet boom. It's so important to understand that. So right now, Bitcoin's the dominant brand for blockchain. It was the first to make it big, and it's leading the technological revolution, you could say, and certainly in branding and innovation. So let's not diss Bitcoin, even if it doesn't end up being, in the end, the granddaddy of them all. That's irrelevant, just like it was irrelevant at the time that Yahoo was being developed and people made huge sums of returns during the internet boom before Google came along. You got to be in the game or you're not going to benefit and you're not going to see the next trends. Anyway, so you can spend Bitcoin right now. You can get a card like BitPay and go online and real quick and easy. I've got one. I love using it. I use it at restaurants. I use it on to buy gas. I buy clothes. And I'm spending Bitcoin. It's really easy, but it works just like a Visa card. And you can use it anywhere, online or offline. So people are already spending Bitcoin right before your eyes all the time. There's all kinds of cards like that. It's really easy to use. It's funny that doesn't come up very much when people say, well, you can't use it anywhere. Well, you can use the BitPay card, and a whole bunch of different cards are out there. And check this out. This is February 2018, and this is like it's all over the news. It's so obvious what's going on. And again, I'm hopefully telling you what you already know. Like, I want to just get you in tuned with what you already know that's happening around you that proves where we're at, and just make it in your mind parallel to what you saw happening in the internet boom, because it was obvious then too. But a lot of us, I'll talk about that and why I didn't fully take part in that. A lot of us missed it. I'm not going to miss this. And I'm talking to people that don't want to miss it either. I'm not here to convince you of that. I want to talk to those who already are there, but get you in tuned with what you already know. In some of this you may not know yet, but just reinforces what you know, which is this is happening. Coinbase wants to make it easier for you to buy those shoes with cryptocurrency. So this is just something that was on Fortune magazine. Down here it says Coinbase, the largest US-based cryptocurrency exchange, has rolled out what's essentially PayPal for crypto. With Coinbase Commerce, you'll be able to pay with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin. So this is happening all around us. It's become easier and easier to spend your cryptocurrency. By the way, Coinbase is no small thing. Like if you have money in Coinbase, you know, a lot of people purchase Bitcoin and Litecoin and these different cryptocurrencies with Coinbase. If you have cash in there, it's FDIC insured. Like that means it's got the seal of approval of the highest authority of the banking system and government in the U.S. It's not just some little small-time organization. There's huge money and infrastructure behind all of this. Don't let the noise confuse you. That's just chatter trying to confuse everybody while they're trying to position and have some ulterior motive, which is fine. That's the way it works. They're using media to do that, to be able to get a position in the dang thing. And they'll be knocking Bitcoin or whatever they can to try to get a foothold. Let's look at the Bitcoin price real quick. So this is a trend just in the last week. It had gone down. Everyone panics. It's ridiculous. It's a correction. It's a healthy correction. It's like earthquakes. If you don't have one for too long of a period of time, then the correction is going to be huge later. You want to have little corrections along the way. And so it dropped in. It'd been up to almost 20,000. It dropped down to, you know, below 8,000, and now it's creeping back up in a 1 week from 8,000 to 11,000. Shows you how strong it is. Shows you what's going on. Let's look at this real quick. Again, hopefully I'm reinforcing what you already know. Check this out. So Bitcoin, this is like the map from like the beginning of Bitcoin to now, and you see this correction that happened recently because they went on the futures market. Big institutional money got involved, so everyone got excited, went up, and a lot of people are saying that the institutions were trying to drive it down so they could buy it again, but you could see it starting to bounce back up. But what's important to understand is look at the curve here, right? And then look at this. This is really interesting. The last slide was where we're at now, but this goes back to quite a long time ago. And in April 28th, 2013 to November 30th, 2013. So we're talking about like, you know, almost 5 years ago. So look how, and like it says down here, look at the insane parabolic growth on this chart. But now look at the next slide. This is looking at it up until late 2017. This little thing right here, you see this little thing right here? That was that last chart we just looked at. That's it right there. Let's look at them side by side. So this parabolic growth is actually represented right here. And like it's saying here, so if you sold because you thought it was going up right here, if you sold there in 2013, then you missed out on 1,600% run up. And the point is, you know, a lot of people believe that's what's happening right now, that it's not high now. It's not even close. That what we've seen in terms of highs is like this little bump, and that it's just going to go parabolic again on a whole nother level. That's what really we already know. And I'm really speaking to those who really should already know that based on what you saw with the internet boom. I don't want to convince you of that. I really want to talk to people that really are already there, because there's so much bigger stuff to do. There's so many opportunities. There's so many things that plug into. And I just don't want to be working with and giving my system away to people who just don't get that or don't get it enough. You know, I get there's always uncertainty. We have to acknowledge there's always risk, right? Of course, we don't know the future. But yet, when you look back at the internet boom, didn't you kind of know? I mean, if you didn't, then you're going to totally miss this. I kind of knew. I pretty much knew. And I think you probably did too. Didn't know exactly what to do, where to go. Now I've learned you just need to jump in and then navigate from there, or you're going to miss an opportunity of a lifetime again. That's me talking to myself, not me talking to you. You're either already there or you really shouldn't be here with me, is what I'm saying. I don't want to convince you of this stuff. I'm just running through stuff. Most of it you should already know. Maybe some other stuff that I'm running through is a reinforcement that you didn't quite think of or know exactly, but it's all reinforcing what you already know, that this thing is going to go much, much higher. So, you know, here's a shot again of where we're at. We're in this correction period, but now it's bouncing back. Now, who knows exactly what it's going to do? The point is, we should know enough based on what we saw during the internet boom. and what we're seeing happen all around us, regardless of the noise and confusion and smoke and mirrors. Bitcoin price to skyrocket. This is all fairly new. It's January 24th, 2018. New from the time that I'm recording this. And all of this, these are classic principles, classic concepts. So if you're watching this later in the year, this is still relevant. Bitcoin price to skyrocket. Expert has no doubt Bitcoin will reach over 100,000. You guys are hearing this stuff all the time. John McAfee bullish on Bitcoin price reaching 1 million by 2020. Hedge fund managers reap 3,175% profit off Bitcoin in 2017. I mean, what this is all indicating, guys, which again should be already pretty obvious to you, even if you didn't say it out loud. What this is all indicating is that, because this is the kind of stuff we saw during the internet boom, while they were saying it was never going to become a profitable model, that none of the prices of the stocks were legitimate. We were hearing that all the time, but amidst all that, we were seeing obvious signs that it was, was going to be huge. And what this is all indicating, because these numbers are astronomical, what this is all indicating is this is going to be even much larger than the internet boom because of the scope and scale of this blockchain technology. So for those who don't know, blockchain is the technology that drives Bitcoin, that runs Bitcoin, that makes Bitcoin work. It's a digital ledger in which transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are recorded chronologically and publicly. So you don't need a centralized location like a bank to keep track of everything. It's like mathematics and this really cool, what they call blockchain technology that tracks everything. So this can infiltrate and impact and influence and change and revolutionize and innovate every industry, every market, every niche, everything that is a transaction. So from how the library keeps track of things to how information is stored and passed back and forth between people accessing it, to the way currency is used, it improves the efficiency and trust factor so that a centralized location doesn't have to be responsible. It makes everything cheaper. People are like, well, it's not cheap to send a Bitcoin. Well, you don't understand how expensive it is to use money because they hide the fees. Like when you go to the store, you're not paying for the fee right there when you run your card. They are, and that raises the prices. This actually is going to decrease the prices of everything, which helps combat inflation, helps it's going to impact every economy and everything. It's going to be way bigger than the internet boom. Cryptocurrency market, again, which is using blockchain technology. It's actually not just for currency. That's kind of a term that's being used, but cryptocurrency is really use of the blockchain technology and everything that you could possibly imagine. I mean, that's how it's being used so far. Cryptocurrency market could hit 1 trillion this year, with Bitcoin surging to 50,000, experts say. So all these people talk about different numbers, but they're all really, really high compared to where it's at right now. And cryptocurrencies, as this is saying on CNBC, here on February 7th, could go on a bull run greater than last year and pass the $1 trillion value mark, Jamie Burke, CEO of Outlier Ventures, said. Guys, it's all around us. Let's check this out. Let's put it in perspective, and then I'm going to move on to some other stuff that's really, really important. This is where the dot-com bubble was, the internet boom, 9.6 trillion. See how big it is? This is how big the crypto market is. It's eensy compared to this. And what a lot of experts say, and I think you know in your gut already, this is going to be way bigger than the dot-com bubble anyway. In fact, based on what I'm hearing, you can figure this out yourself. I don't need to convince you of this, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, my understanding is the difference in the sizes of these two bubbles is going to be the difference in sizes later when you're comparing the size of, it's going to be in reverse. Basically, this big bubble is going to be as small as that in comparison to what cryptocurrency is going to be. Cryptocurrency is the blockchain which impacts every transaction that humans can conceive of. This is going to be absolutely astronomical. That's why the banks and big institutions stopped fighting it. Like, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, the banks are joining. Even Jamie Dimon, who is the famous CEO of the last one standing, saying that Bitcoin is a fraud, is now backpedaling and saying, I don't know why I even said that. And his bank is now investing into this stuff. Like, The writing is on the wall. The dot-com bubble, I basically just explained that. Massive illustrations, examples, proof everywhere, reminding us what we already know. It's going to the stock market. AMD and NVIDIA, two competitors with processing chips, stocks both skyrocketing. If you go search AMD stock rises from crypto mining because of the crypto mining. So this is bleeding over into all markets, including the stock market, boosting everything that's involved. Here's an article how Mike Novogratz raised $250 million for his cryptocurrency merchant bank. The vocal and outspoken manager of hedge funds has marked a significant accomplishment this year. He was able to conduct a successful raise of $250 million to fund the proposed operation of Galaxy Digital. $250 million. A bank that aims to be focused on cryptocurrencies and will serve as a merchant bank. Guys, it's all around us. Look at these biggest gainers of cryptocurrencies today in the last 24 hours. I just pulled this up today. 162%, 103%, 98%. This is crazy. And this is during a bad day for these cryptocurrencies. This is like, you know, what some of the worst days for cryptocurrencies. This is like a bad day. It's crazy. This is for 7 days, 649%, 206%. Like, this is commonplace. Obviously, some are losing too day to day, but the volatility is insane, the ups and downs, and that's where opportunity is, just like the internet boom. Again, we can't let the fear that stopped us during the internet boom, and it stops, if you're too young to have experienced that, you can probably imagine, like over and over again. There's a reason why most people are in the middle class or in the, struggling, because they never took any risks. I'm not here to convince you to do that. I just want to remind you what you already know. I'm not here to tell you to invest in cryptocurrency. I'm not here to tell you to purchase anything that I use to take advantage of any of this. I'm not here to tell you to use any of the tools or the resources I do, or to do anything that you see me do, or to even be excited about any of this. I'm not here to tell you that. I don't want that responsibility. I do want to kind of wake people up to what they already know and remind you of what you already know, and then show you what I'm doing so you can learn from it. Here's what I'm going to share: my opinions about the state of the market, the mistakes I've made entering the market. I started in crypto just 5 months ago, which is, starting to actually become a long time, but I made some big mistakes. I want to share those with you. You can glean benefit from that. I'm going to share my experiences and journey along the way from here. That can be beneficial. I'm going to share the resources and tools I'm using, but I'm not trying to convince you to use them. Just because I'm passionate and excited doesn't mean that you should be doing anything that I'm doing. It's really important to understand that. If you need help to make decisions beyond doing your own research online, you should go hire professionals, financial advisors, legal advice, whatever you need to get it sorted out. That's on you to do. I'm not to replace those things. I'm just kind of showing you my journey in this Wild West. I'm going to show you now. Here's something that I do know, and that's my marketing system, because that's where my whole expertise is. It has been for decades. My marketing system, which I will give to you to test out and to see how it works and to get on the inside of it without having to pay anything for it. My system for generating leads and cryptocurrency commissions. And I'll talk more about that today. And again, if you've got to go, if you don't have time right now, enter your email. You'll get this same presentation emailed to you, and you'll get forwarded to the next page to join our Facebook group and get plugged in if you got to go. But if you can stick around, I really encourage you to, because there's some big stuff happening. And just remember how people missed the internet boom, maybe how you missed the internet boom. It's easy to get distracted. So if you can stick around, go ahead. If you can't, if you've got to go, enter your email so you stay close and can see what's going on. I want to mention my experiences might be entertaining or helpful for you. I have a tumor. I found out I have a tumor. I couldn't, all of a sudden couldn't hear my left ear, like suddenly, or it happened over like a 3-day period. I felt weird and I just laid down and all of a sudden I couldn't hear. And I can barely hear out of my left ear. I've got tinnitus and it's ringing like crazy. And then it took months, I later found out I have a tumor in my neck They say it's unrelated, but it's so obvious to me it's related. And I can feel the tumor. It's like sticking out of my neck. You can't see it, but you can feel it. And I've seen some pictures. It can get pretty big if I don't remove it. This was my motivation. Like, this is what shook me out of what I was doing. I was serving a lot of clients, working really, really hard, not for the money. I had made a lot of money in the past. I literally was losing tons of money serving clients that only half of them really appreciated it. It was a business that wasn't very fulfilling to me in any other way other than knowing that I was really like serving these people and trying to make a big difference, trying to help people with really cool ideas, build their businesses and their brands. But when I found out I had this tumor, it shook me out of that. And I needed to immediately find the fastest way to make as much money as I could. So 5 months so I could get a surgery outside the US, because in the US they'll mess me up apparently. It's them telling me that. There's other places that can do it better apparently. And so, got 2 kids, I'm gonna go to college, like needed to take care of I needed to think about money again. And so I jumped into cryptocurrency and I made a lot of mistakes. Now, as I shared my journey when I made those mistakes, I told people, don't do what I'm doing. I really encourage people when if they don't have a high risk threshold like I do, or as much motivation to really go for it like I do, watch what I'm doing, learn from what I'm doing. And if you want to do it too, like don't do it. I'm not giving you advice to do it, but if you decide you want to do something that you see me do, like temper it way down, obviously. It can be very entertaining to see me go for it in the ways that I do, to see the risks that I take. And I will continue to take. I'm not going to take the same level of risk that I have, and I'll talk about that later as you get closer. I'll share all the details with you of everything that I've done, and you can learn from that. But it can be entertaining to see me go for things in the way that I do. I throw myself into things. I put all my eggs in one basket, like for a little short time. People say, "Oh, that's crazy." Yeah, of course it's crazy, but I do it so that I can either hit it big or not. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, that's gambling." Well, you might be right. In my case, it's fast learning. Uh, I never put in more that I'm willing to lose. You shouldn't either. It's just I have such a high risk threshold that that's a lot often. Uh, I made some big mistakes that I'm going to be sharing with you to help you avoid those same mistakes. And those led me to arrive at, I'm not going to say there's ever no risk, but arrive now at ways of building Bitcoin, cryptocurrency without so much risk as I was doing before. It can be very helpful for you to see that. I will say I'm staying away from risky business, lending platforms, anyone who, anything where they're holding your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency and therefore all of a sudden can pull some shenanigans. Not going to be involved with those things. So I'll share more of those experiences in the future with you. There were some crazy and maybe somewhat from looking from the outside in, some entertaining situations that I got myself into. But I learned a great deal, and I'm going to be sharing that with you, but I'm not going to be doing anything with lending platforms. It's very important we hold our own Bitcoin, that you always hold your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency and take advantage of what's going to happen, the opportunities here where you're in control of that. Very important. So some common and not so common resources that I'm going to be encouraging you to know about, learn about if you don't already. If you do know, hang on, because this is all integrated into the system. What you probably don't know, even if you know the resources I'm about ready to go over, is how to generate a lot of leads, how to do it systematically, how to educate and introduce people to things that can generate cryptocurrency commissions for you. That's what I know how to do. That's what I do extraordinarily well. It's what I've always done. And I didn't do it with cryptocurrency. I used to, I had $1 million day launch once in 2009, doing that outside the cryptocurrency market. Obviously, that was pre-cryptocurrency, at least before I knew about it. Now I'm going to apply all those skills, and I've been applying all those skills to cryptocurrency. The marketing I have down, I can show you how to generate tons of leads and cryptocurrency commissions with programs like this, because this program has a referral program. This is Binance. They're an exchange. They're one of the top exchanges in the world where people trade cryptocurrency. Now, if you don't know how to trade cryptocurrency, I'm not going to say that I'm going to teach you, because I'm not going to advise you or do that, but I'm going to show you how I use the resource, and you can glean from that what you want. You can go do additional research, but it's pretty easy. And the tools and resources that I'm using make it extremely easy. I'm not a techie. I don't like to get technical. I don't like to get bogged down in stuff like that. I like to keep things simple. You know, it's my marketing mind. It's my business system mind. I like to automate, systematize, simplify. And that's why I'm able to have a lot of success in the marketing and business system world. I'm applying that to this, and I'm going to share that with you and give what to you my resources so you can experience it and see it at work. Binance is an exchange where people trade cryptocurrencies. I'll show you what I know about Binance. Very simple. Coinbase is a place where people buy Bitcoin. They also have an affiliate program where you generate Bitcoin, and I've generated quite a bit when you show it to people and they buy Bitcoin again. And if you think that's a shady concept, Amazon has a referral program. Coinbase is FDIC insured, just like the banks. So these aren't like shady little operations that are providing these opportunities. These are huge organizations that have tremendous influence in the culture and present and future of cryptocurrency. It is no small thing. And I'm going to show you how you can get paid like this. And by the way, let me hold up there. When I say like this, I don't mean getting paid what I get paid. You know, these are just random. This is a random snapshot from my back office in Coinbase. And this may not look like a lot of money. By itself, it's not. You know, they pay you a $10 commission for referrals in Bitcoin. And so you can see that, and this is just one little snapshot. Obviously, there were a lot more transactions than this, but I don't even pay attention is the point. And I don't want you to pay attention to the amounts or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't about what I make. This isn't about what you can generate with my system. What I'm sharing right now is that these opportunities are here, and I can let you kind of just look under the hood, even test drive the car, see it at work, join those that are doing it, and then surmise on your, figure out on your own what's going on and what's right for you. But I will never be like trying to insinuate that what I'm generating, and here's a snapshot of commissions I'm generating from Binance, the exchange. Every time people are doing a trade, I get a commission from Binance. And again, I didn't talk to people about doing this. This is all just kind of happens from the system and keeps happening. And I can give you that system to test out. Again, FTC doesn't allow me to say you're going to make this, and they shouldn't. That's so stupid. Like, it's of course you're not going to make exactly what I make. Like, I can't even tell what it is. Look, these are small commission. Here we are, 0.000133031. But the list is really long. Like you can see over here, there's the little scroll bar. You can scroll way down, and this is just like the latest commission history. So it's just happening all the time. And it's not just this, it's not just Coinbase, it's lots of things. And that's the power of it. It's lots of things. So I want to help you experience that. I want you to see how that works and start to really understand that there's very innovative ways to generate lots of cryptocurrency, even different types of cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, with automation. And if you don't have a lot of resources, like some people have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest with, even if you do, but you don't want to put it all at risk, or maybe you want to maximize what you can do, this is really, really smart as a way to go about generating cryptocurrency that you can then use to invest if you choose to. I'm not encouraging you to, but if you wanted to on your own, invest back into the market, into the coins and so forth, which again, I'll be showing you what I'm doing. You can decide if that's what you want to do. You can go online, you can hire professionals to help you figure it out. But what I do know is the marketing, lead generation, cryptocurrency generation with these awesome programs that are out there. By the way, here's another resource that also there are ways to have there's an affiliate program with Ledger, and there's an affiliate program with Trezor through Amazon. Ledger has its own affiliate program, pretty awesome one too, by the way. And I want to make it real. What are these things if you don't know? This is a way to store your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency. At Ledger, you can store other cryptocurrency. Trezor, I believe it's just Bitcoin, unless that's changed recently. And you can do it, in a really secure fashion, where it's not on your computer, it's not in your phone, it's not online. So if the company goes out of business, it's gone, can't be stolen that way. Now, if somebody could steal your actual Trezor, but it's secure, so even if somebody did, like, it wouldn't help them much. It's really, really, it's a really cool way to store your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. These are the kinds of things I'm going to be showing you how to do. Again, I'm not teaching, I'm not advising, I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and obviously you can learn from that experience if you want to. So these also have affiliate programs, is what I'm saying. So as my system is educating you, and as you are using my system to educate others, leveraging my content and my sharing of my experiences with all of this, you're generating cryptocurrency commissions. And here's just a snapshot showing the Ledger affiliate program. Become a Ledger affiliate and earn Bitcoin 10% commission on each sale. And again, I automate this. Okay, so what's this? This is a screenshot of software that I use. It's so easy to set up, by the way. I am not a techie. I hate techie stuff. I like simple stuff. I got this up and running really, really fast, and it's doing all these trades. Remember, I showed you Binance, and I showed you that Binance has a referral system. So, my system's teaching people how to plug into Binance. I don't want to say teaching, because it's really just like showing what I'm doing on Binance, and and then if people want to do it, they can do it too. And there's other exchanges. I just happen to like Binance, but the Autobot, this Autobot software, just plug into Binance and it does all the trading for me. And I blocked out, how much it's generating, because FTC doesn't like us to show that kind of stuff, because then people think, oh, that means I'm going to make that exactly too. And obviously that's not the case, but we don't want to show how much we're making exactly. But because that's not the point. The point isn't me saying, use my system and you're going to make X, Y, Z. Don't ask me that question. We're not allowed to answer questions like that. And we really shouldn't go there, because then people think, oh, if I do exactly what you're doing, I'm going to make exactly what you're making. And it doesn't work that way, because there's so many other factors, which I'll be sharing with you. We'll be sharing what all those factors are and what you can do to generate more leads. In fact, I got free ways that you can generate leads. I don't mean you going out and having to generate the content. I mean, where you can use my content. And I have ways where you can do like Facebook ads or YouTube ads if you really want to speed it up once you see it working. You'll learn all of that. But people don't want, the FTC doesn't want people thinking that you don't have to do anything and you just, going to make all this money. There are things that you're going to need to do to get the automation going. But I've made it really simple. Like, for example, again, I'll say it again, you can use my content, for example, to generate free leads. So I'll show you all that. Or you can advertise if once you see it working, you want to like totally like step on the gas, get more leads coming in, get more commissions coming in, you can do that too. Anyway, so this is software that trades for me on Binance. You just plug it in and it starts trading for you. And the goal there is to grow Bitcoin, because it's trading against Bitcoin. It's trading with other coins, other cryptocurrencies. I'll show you my experience with this, and let that be helpful to you. And then another resource I want to show you is this snap. That's me 8 years ago. I don't look so young anymore. But this is me. I used to do a lot of trainings. I used to do a lot of marketing and business development trainings all over the world. Not so much anymore. That's hard work. But what I do now is I set up these systems online, applying my knowledge on, to developing the cryptocurrency commissions. And you can use the same system, and I'll let you test it out for free. So this is another great resource I'm going to show you, and I'm quite certain it's one that you don't have access to anywhere else, and you get to test it out for free. Again, if you got to go, come on in. You'll get the same presentation. You can start here and listen to the rest of it later. Join our Facebook group. But if you can keep listening, I got a few more things that I think are really important for you to hear. And I want you to get as much of this as you can. So if you can stay with me here, let's talk about the regulators real quick. So the Bitcoin traders are relieved. This is the headline yesterday. Bitcoin traders are relieved at CFTC and SEC cryptocurrency Senate hearing testimony. So they met in Washington. This is important, by the way. They met in Washington and they were discussing all kinds of things. People felt pretty optimistic after they heard it, but I want to talk about both sides of it. Some things that they said that, that we need to pay attention to, and some things that we said that, really, what made people that were holding Bitcoin pretty happy. Here's a quote from it that kind of helps you feel the tone of it, somewhat positive, and why people felt pretty good about it. We owe it to this is a quote from one of the people that were speaking there. We owe it to this new generation to respect their enthusiasm for virtual currencies with a thoughtful and balanced response, and not a dismissive one. And he went on to really talk about that, and let's not rush into things. Now here's a little bit of concern, but I think legitimate where they were coming from. It's going to get harder for ICOs. ICOs are internet cryptocurrency offerings. kind of like stocks coming to market. And at the Senate hearing, Jay Clayton noted that every ICO token the SEC has seen so far is considered a security, and explained that if a crypto asset issued by a company increases in value over time, depending on the performance of the company, it is considered a security. He says you can call it a coin, but if it functions like a security, it's a security. So, I mean, they weren't coming out with any hard-nosed anything yet, but they were saying, look, we kind of know these guys are launching these things and it's a security, and we need to do something about it. We need to make sure there's protections. But on the other side, there were these voices saying, well, let's not rush into anything. And, yeah, let's go after repeat offenders of this that are taking advantage of people, but let's be cautious about it. Let's not mess with the market too much. It is innovating was a big message. Because he continues, Jay Clayton, chairman of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. However, Clayton made a distinction between ICO tokens and major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. He labeled ICO token securities while classifying the others as true cryptocurrencies, promising smart and practical regulations for exchanges and investors dealing with this cryptocurrency. So they're obviously not going to kill the whole thing, not in any way. They're really taking a careful, cautious approach, not wanting to mess with it, but acknowledging that there needs to be some safeguards, especially with these ICOs, these internet cryptocurrency offerings, where people were offering junk coins. And I had some experience with those that I'll share so you can learn from my mistakes. Where there's these junk coins that people are getting excited about, but then it's basically fraud. And so, when you come on to my email list, you're going to learn about these experiences I've had. You're going to be able to benefit from my experience, and it's all going to, you're going to be able to get like my 5-month intense, by the way, education. Because, when I put myself into something, especially because of my circumstances, I really have thrown myself into this stuff. And because of my aptitude in business and so forth, while I made a lot of mistakes, I learned very, very quickly. You're going to be able to learn from those experiences. Here's something interesting also that took place there. U.S. CFTC commissioner says cryptocurrency exchanges adopting self-regulation could spur standards. So they're really kind of leading towards letting the industry kind of self-regulate as well. That came out, which is obviously a positive for those that want to see, as little government intervention as possible and as much opportunity as possible. A top commissioner with the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, Brian Quintins, a Republican, has said operators of the cryptocurrency space could do well to consider adopting self-regulatory standards and industry-wide best practices to policing the new technology-driven space. So, more of a hands-off approach is what he was recommending. That's all good. Like what you need to understand though is it will evolve and it will change and adapt. That's nothing to be scared of. And the way that they're dealing with it and addressing it is definitely sending the signal that, hey, they're going to be reasonable and they're not going to rush into intervention. So it really is opening up the market. And what it maybe says more than anything is a lot of their friends, the politicians' friends, and maybe even themselves are in on making money on it, which means we can make money on it. It doesn't always mean that, but in this case, they're doing kind of a hands-off approach and moving in slowly, and it's reasonable what they were saying, and there's no fast change that they're going to do. It's really clear they're going to let the innovation continue, which means opportunity. So what I want you to remember back to is the internet boom. Same thing was going on there, all kinds of regulatory issues that would affect what was going to happen in the marketplace. That's not a reason to be scared so much. I mean, unless that's your personality, then you shouldn't be here. But that, for me, that's not a reason, just because I'm uncertain about where it's all going to end up and from a regulatory perspective, and this might happen and that might happen. That's not a reason to not get in the game. For some of you, you want to get in the game cautiously, probably. That's your choice. Absolutely. Okay, but here are some things that I want you to understand, because there are things changing all over the world, and every country and every state can be different. So here's your responsibility and agreement. If you're even going to get on my email list, I want you to be agreeing to this. There will be I want you to acknowledge there will be different regulations and rules on cryptocurrency all around the world at any given time. By opting into the information that I'm sharing, you agreed as your responsibility to decipher if something is appropriate or inappropriate for you in your location, wherever you're at in the world, whether it's a state in the US or somewhere near Bangladesh. I mean, just to make my point, like I can't monitor and track all the little rules, regulations, and interpretations on the cryptocurrency market all over the world in every jurisdiction. It's impossible. it's unreasonable to ask or expect. I think it is very reasonable for me to say, whatever state you're in the US, whatever province you're in, whatever region of the world what country you're in, hey, it's your responsibility to make that decision. I'm not advising you, I'm not consulting you. Find a professional if you want that kind of help. I'm sharing my experiences, my opinions, showing you the resources, because that would have been helpful for me. And I think a lot of me sharing my experiences are also going to be very entertaining for you, especially when you get to the segment. In the emails that I send out, you'll find a segment that talks about some of the mistakes I've made. It's definitely, I created some intense moments for myself in these first 5 months, and I learned very quickly because of it. And you can learn through that too if you want to. But you're responsible for knowing those rules in your area of the world. Like I say, I can't know what's going on in Bangladesh. I can't know even what's going on in every state in the United States. What I can do, though, is focus you in on how to generate leads and how to generate cryptocurrency commissions on autopilot. Like, that's what I know. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I think it's extremely exciting, the opportunity that's available to us in that area. So if you want to learn, you kind of already should be getting a feel for it. If you want to be able to use my content, let me say it that way. If you want to be able to use my content, my system, my structure, all of my life experience professionally, my knowledge, all packaged up to be able to generate leads and even see how that happens without having to pay for anything, to be able to come in, look in from the inside, be able to test drive it, see it working for you, here's your next steps. Oh, and at the same time, by the way, see how do you get Bitcoin? If you can't get it from Coinbase, where can you get it from? If you're running into challenges, have people who can help you and back you up. Have people, kind of just help you navigate all of this stuff. Not as, professionals giving you, legal advice or advice on trading or none of that, but just kind of a support network of people just kind of sharing their experiences and what they know about a tool that they're using or a resource that they're using or what they did when they had trouble getting Bitcoin at some location or in a certain area. Really, really helpful and supportive. So, and again, in the system to generate leads and cryptocurrency commissions and see how that works and actually experience it. If you want access to all that, enter your name and email, real simple. On the next page, you'll be forwarded to our Facebook group. You can join that. I encourage you to, because that's where you're surrounded by real people, and I'm in there. And you get to ask us questions and figure stuff out. And it's real simple. Like it's just, no one's pouncing on you or anything. No one's trying to sell you anything. Very supportive. Very, very cool group of people. Then you're going to get an email. The first email is going to have this presentation in it in case you want to watch it again or share it with somebody or just, I don't know, just to have it, or maybe you didn't, weren't able to have your full attention on this. So we're going to send this presentation again, but we're also going to send you a quick link with steps on how to really easily set up your free system, how to get your system, see how it works. Because when you get it working and you see how I do marketing, like free marketing, what's that really look like? Like you're literally going to get it and get to do it if you want to, and it's simple. And you get to leverage the content that I create, everything. You get to see what we do if we're doing advertising versus free marketing methods, and you get to use my content to do it. You get to use my system to do it. We even personally add your name if you want your name. Maybe you want to use a business name or something for your system. We personalize it. And actually there's people that do this for you. Like this isn't all just automated. When you automate stuff too much, then the kind of the soul comes out of it, the human element comes out of it. So it's not, there's a lot of automation here for you, but on our end, like we're very much involved. Like it's really, really unique that way. Now that sometimes means you got to wait a little while to get your system built, but it's pretty awesome. We'll be in communication with all that stuff. Like it's a real deal. So you'll also get to watch for future emails, as I kind of referenced throughout this. You'll get to see how the system's working as it's educating and showing and telling all these resources I'm using, sharing the experience. You're obviously learning from that just, vicariously, and sometimes through osmosis, just kind of watching, experiencing. You get to see how that works. And you might plug into Binance, you might plug into Coinbase, you might get some Bitcoin if you don't have it already. Or if you don't, you'll see how, if you were to use the system, which I'll be showing you how to do, you'll be seeing how people are getting walked through all of that and introduced to all of the things that would offer you crypto commissions and generate crypto commissions for you. So go ahead and enter your name and email. Let's start the journey. Super, super simple. Join the Facebook group on the next page after you opt in, and let's get started. It's really, really simple. Look forward to meeting you and helping you out.